lot of what's going to be required is actually integrating these classic systems into quantum systems, whether that's a quantum computer as part of an HPC system or whatever else it may be. So there's a lot of engineering challenges that are that are already being looked at, but will also I think continue to grow as well. So that's something I would focus on. And all of the skills that you're looking at, learning Qiskit and things like that, that can then give you a foot in both sides of a foot in both camps. So you've got a little bit of quantum, a little bit of classic. Well, there's people needed to bridge that gap.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up. Oh, go ahead.
Yes. So earlier I was thinking like, how can I apply quantum computing to some mechanical engineering things? But I think what you're saying is that quantum computing might need some mechanical engineering applications to develop quantum computing and bring it as a product to the market. Yeah. Is that right?
I think so. And I think, when it comes to those integration pieces, having a breadth of experience is important, because when you're looking to have a classic and a quantum system come together, you're going to need someone with, on the quantum side, you're going to need someone who understands the classic side. And on the quantum side, on the classic side, you need to have someone who needs to understand quantum. So being someone who's got a stake in both sides of the equation, that's something that can be very valuable. Now, that could be that you're working for an end user, it could be you're working for a provider, it could be you're working for the consultancy in the middle. But these are all things, having that breadth of experience, these are all things that I think are important and will become more so.
So I'm glad. Go ahead. Did you have
I was just saying thank you.
So there's a ton of information. And so what he's talking about is hybrid quantum computing. So a lot of times classical is really good, but it can be made a little bit better with quantum. So Amazon, they made this big announcement. It was either late. Yeah, it was late last November. I'm going to post it in the link here. So they call it hybrid jobs. So you take a certain task up in the cloud and you do some of it, most of it classically, and the things that take too long or just too complex that would utilize quantum mechanics, then you do with that. So John's mentioned it a couple times as far as, basically there's going to be all types. You'll have like a CPU, GPU, QPU, and a laptop, these types of things. But I think the important thing for everybody to know is that nothing, except for maybe like quantum sensor specific applications, is going to be pure quantum. They're going to be hybrids, because classical does things well, a GPU does things well, and then quantum offloads as well too. Did you have anything more on the kind of like the hybrid stuff, John?
Yeah, I think that's the right sort of summary. Potentially you could talk about running, I don't know, email or something like that on a quantum computer, but why would you? That it would be like, you've got a Ferrari, you could put attach a needle and thread to it, but your sewing machine works really well and doesn't have an engine that requires lots of petrol in it. So why would you bother?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I think that's the thing. You're going to have this is something I think the pathway's there for, where at the moment you've got a situation where with quantum computers, to use one, you have to be inherently aware of the state of the qubits at any given time. Well, we use our laptops. We don't know what's happening with transistors. So over time, you're going to have operating systems, APIs, and a lot of the things that we take for granted. And you're going to have you're just going to be sitting there with the user interface